Because otherwise, what do kids do? They give you this one, right? Nice and wide and feels comfortable. All coaches yell out false steps. If your kid is too wide, his first step will be false because he has to come in to come to balance and move forward. Rods from shoulders to feet. Our second command, and I will tell you this straight up, I did not believe it until I started coaching my kids and doing it, and it works like a charm. This one's all Bobby. We give a wings command. Palms up, we push our hands behind our back as far as we can, and we arch that butt, arch our back, stick that butt up. This forces our kids into that inward curve of the spine that we want. They have to feel it.
One of the things that will happen, a lot of times they'll lean forward. This is the first time you start telling them to control their body. They are in control, so you make them stay straight.
Neck up, butt up, palms, right? So we give the wings command. Then I tell them to sink. They drop down, right? Good bend in the knees, 45-degree lean at the waist, but my hands are still back. Why are my hands still back? I'm forcing that curve I want. How many of you guys have walked around the practice field doing this to the kid? Force them into the body position you want and save yourself a whole lot of time. The last thing we do is once I'm in my sink position, I just give them the hands call and we come down to the ready. Right? Whatever your stance is, they feel comfortable. When I'm wings, my shoulder blades are pinched, my chest is proud, and I come right in. You can line up as many guys as you want. You can get your whole team done in 2 minutes. It's a simple call. Feet, wings, sink, hands. My kids are in a perfect stance every single time, right? Perfect every time. After week 2, after week 3, right? Now we come get in the breakdown stance because the kids have to feel it. These kids aren't 40 years old. They don't have the experience we do. They don't know what it feels like to get in a great position. So we give them the tools to feel it, all right? So now we're in perfect stances. Any questions on that? Fairly easy, pretty quick. We rock through it. We get them in lines. We get a perfect stance. We release them. From that point on, every drill starts in a perfect stance, right? We want our kids to be in the defensive posture, maintaining their leverage advantage, so they're low, they're bent, they're comfortable.
What you do is I get them all in mass like I have all of you right now. If I were to say that I was a mirror, then if you were looking at me, you would see yourself. So you'd have all your kids in nice rows in front of you. You say, I'm a mirror. So they have to assume your posture. So then the first thing you do is put a finger in your ear. Okay, and everybody's got to do that if they're paying attention. And then you say, you got to stretch your butt because you're itching. And then and then start laughing, just like you laugh right now. And now you got them laughing, you got them. You can work hard all day. Once you get them laughing, it's over. Now you go from here. Feet, wings, sit. Now the next thing is hip position, where we just step, right? Because you can do this from right here. Short downhill step. Right there. Put those hands. I use way back here, I overemphasize everything in practice, because in the game it's going to be that fast. But in practice, I overemphasize everything. So if we step, short downhill step, like the manhole cover got moved. And we want to get eyes belt buckle high. Eyes belt buckle high, looking up, not overstriding. So how do you get that perfect stance as well? I start out, I say right foot, okay, touch your left hip, point down. There's where your back foot is. Your back foot shouldn't be back there because you're overstriding. So now you just put the right foot out or left foot, it's either one. Touch that opposite hip, point straight down, that means my back foot is under my butt. My front foot is on the outside of my chin. Come up like that. Okay?
So we start, right, we get our kids in a breakdown position. We have to teach them how to get in the hip position. They have to be able to feel it, right? So after we've done our same drill to get them in a breakdown position, it's really easy. Coach gives a command. We're going right foot, ready, hit. All kids take that downhill power step, right? Attack step. This isn't, right? Toe to line. I'm not doing ballet here. It's downhill. It's stomp. It's mean business. My hips are loaded. My back is still flat. I know those positions, right? I'm back. I'm loaded. I'm ready to explode. Hit position, right? How often do we drill the position for the moment of contact? Not very often. How often should we? Every day. Drill it as part of your warm-up, right? Perfect stance, hit position, right? We're loaded, we're ready to go. We're loaded for the impact that we want out of our kids. All the power and all the techniques, ripping the arm, shooting the hips, moving the head up and away, comes from this position, right? Number one question is why the split stance, right? Old school, I taught this. Guess what? We're not squatting, we're not cleaning, we're not deadlifting. This stance is great for moving a bar in a straight line. We're not trying to move a bar in a straight line. We're trying to move a ball carrier that way, correct? Well, hopefully the bus does not run out of gas on the way home, but if one of you had to get out and push the bus, would you get in this stance to push it, or would you be staggered and ready to explode forward? We would be staggered. That's how the human body works. That's how sprinters get in the blocks. That's how we explode out of our hip position to make a solid contact tackle. All right, next fundamental is buzz. We talk about the feet. Every coach wants great feet. We talk about great feet. But what do the kids do? They go in place. They're stuck in the mud. Coach told me to small steps, chop my feet, chop my feet, chop my feet. So what we do is we set up a bag to emulate the situation. Why? This gives the kids a start point and it gives the kids an end point. My fundamentals stay true. I'm coming to balance, right, by shortening my stride, taking short, quick, choppy steps. I'm facing out. I'm getting wide enough that I'm in a powerful position because the bag is forcing me to spread my feet. I have a simple technical check because if my kid doesn't get wide enough, what does he do? He kicks the bag and I as a coach see it. So we have a start position and an end position because when we buzz, when we come to control, right, we don't want our kids to stop. We want our kids to continue to gain ground. So as Bobby pursues the ball carrier, he's feet, but he continues to gain ground and he finishes in the hip position. Why? Because that's the most important thing for the moment of contact. So all of our buzz drills end with either a tackle or the hip position. So day one progression, we've learned the breakdown position, we've learned the hip position. So my kids start in the perfect breakdown position, they creep, they keep their low body position, they feet up the bag, and I'm ready to go, I'm ready to explode. Why do we stop there? Because my kids haven't learned the rest. My kids haven't learned to rip their arms. My kids haven't learned to shoot their hips. We teach them in progression. My kids know breakdown. My kids know hit, so I can put the buzz, the controlled feet in between. Does that make sense to everyone? Right, fairly self-explanatory.
What the buzz is flat-footed. It's the tip of your toes to the edge of your heel and everything in between on the ground. Now, kids are very visual. You got to say penguin. We become a penguin with our feet. We run full speed normally, low in pursuit. But when we close in, we got to spread those feet. Flat-footed, you're not on your toes. You got to sink the hips as you close in on the ball carrier because he got the rock like this. He came out of the backfield like that already, right? So I can't be up here. When he drops his shoulders, I'm going to go. That's the dynamic of helmet to helmet. You have to be eyes, face mask, below the chin, below the face mask. My eyes are there because the back reacts. The defender reacts. So we're always behind the jet. So if he drops and I drop, bang, there's helmet to helmet. But if I'm here, Andy coming at me, and I buzz, and I dip, Andy dip, boom. And I just go get him, boom. That was an angle tackle. He went that way, I just blessed him. But I didn't put my head across because there's 10 other guys coming from the other side all over the place. If I put my head here comes his teammate hitting me in the head, and also I'm giving him my head to run through, like Andy said earlier inside. I'm giving him my head and my neck to run through. We don't want to do that.
So, all right, we have our simple setup here for our buzz to hit drill. How easy is it to take to an angle tackle situation? Coach comes over here, go ahead and have a 45 degree. Now I close the distance. Now I buzz on an angle. Is that an angle tackle situation? My kid's still working his fundamentals, but in all planes, so you have to work in the field. Yes, really easy to manipulate to make sure we control all situations.
Can you show us that? Yeah. Can you show us that angle tackle?
So it's a simple situation is, first day, only teach one direction, right? Simple decision making. Don't cloud the kid's judgment. First day, we go straight. Now we add the angle. So if my bag is here, same thing, perfect breakdown position. I close the distance, but now I have to buzz on the angle because it's an outside play. So now I buzz to the angle, right? I work to stay square. All the things we've talked about for so long, I stay back hip, I'm inside out, but my buzz, my controlled foot motion is on this angle, right? And then I step and hit at the last moment of impact to get ready to make that contact.
Now, form tackle and angle tackle, you're not going to buzz half as long because that guy's running away. Coming at you, he's not running away, he's coming to you. So your buzz is going to dip. So the buzz on the angle tackle is only going to last that long, and you got to go get it. So don't get stuck on just technique.
Where's your head? Your head is on it.
It doesn't matter where your head is. You're going to dip and rip.
Your head is coming up and away. We'll get to that.
You dip and rip. Yeah, you dip and rip. Bring your hips. Though. That was arm tackle. Throw the hips and it's like the arms are connected. There's a beam in my hips and my arm. So when my arm moves, they don't move independently of each other. They move together. Boom. You understand? So the power that I hit you with comes from here. Okay? It's transferred from here, but it's activated from here. So it's boom.
Right. But on that, let's talk about the angle tackle.
Promise we'll get to the angle tackle. We're gonna run through the rest of the straight arm progression first. All right, next fundamental is shoot. We got to work the hips, right? Bobby talked about his favorite drill. We set a pad out wide because kids love to jump on pads. If you give a kid something they will do, they will give you great effort. So we start on the ground on our knees. We start with our feet flat behind us. Why? Because I don't want my kids to cheat. If they curl the toes up underneath them, what are they going to do? They're going to push off their feet and they're going to use those legs. This is a hip drill. I want him to learn how his hips control his body, not how extending out of that knee off his toe works. So he's nice and tall. I give him the wings command. Why? Because I want to force him into that great position.
Now, before we get to him on his knees, get him on their feet first and then have them sink in so they can see what it feels like to be in an actual hip position before you put them on their knees so it won't be false when they get here and want to feel it the same way it was before. So go ahead, Andy.
All right, So he's weighing. Now I tell him to sink, just like our old call. He knows what to do. Now he's got tension in his hamstrings and hips. He's loaded up. On the call, we say, right, lock him so his hands are behind his back. Why? Because he's focusing on the hips. When we say hit, his hips are going to shoot forward powerfully and explosively. I will let him once I finish explaining. His hips will take him forward. His hips go up and out.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back into the hall, the main lobby area. We can do the
All right,
same
we
thing
do
in the
this
main
inside.
lobby.